Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. Today I have what's probably one of the coolest things in front of me right now, and I speak none other than the Gundam, but this particular kit. This is the Gundam RX-78-2 Revival version. Now, if you're an old fart like me, and you've been around Gundam kits and models for a few years, you may have encountered something like this. Now, truth be told, I swear at one point in time, I built the 1/144th of the original 79 kit. Wasn't my first Gundam kit. Very first Gundam kit I ever built, at least from the 79 series, was a 1/100th GM and a Zaku 1 that I built for my younger brother. Way back in history. First kit I built for myself would have been Char's Rick Dias. Or maybe a Zaku FZ from 80. That one I had a little bit of help on from a friend, and that was probably junior high, I think. But it's been a while. And so anyways, I've been pretty familiar with a lot of the original Gundam kits that usually had like the limited figure in there. So this is kind of cool because what it is it's taking a very traditionally styled Gundam based on the old 79 version. But what they did was they did it in modern aesthetics. So you can see here the shield's separated out by colors. The design, the parts are going to be more like making things look nicer. No nippers or adhesives are needed. Interesting. I like the thing right here. It says that while an Amuro figure was included in this kit originally, it's just there to show him off, and he's not actually in the box. So you can see here kind of a breakdown of how everything is going to look. Also of notice is the fact that everything is in both English and Japanese. So there is a very good chance that you will be able to find this and then figure out how to do it all yourself. No glue, no tools, colored plastic. So you can see here the basic part breakdown. Very classic sprue runners. I know for many years I had a Uniqlo Gunpla shirt with just the breakdown of this, and it was iconic. I loved it, and I wore that shirt out until it was literally a rag, and my wife forced me to throw it away, sadly. But yeah, so you can see a nice comparison between the original style and the modern one. Oh, I remember the big old goofy thick antennas. Oh man, I feel like I was in college, like I said, when I built the 79 version. Maybe it was the high grade, the original high grade. I've built enough Gundams in my life, and I don't know when and where each of those is anymore, sadly. I believe I was probably high school, I think, when 8th Team came out. I know I built the ground Gundam. But just look at that. Look at those proportions. So I can't wait for this thing. It's scary that this is the 45th anniversary of Gundam. Alright. Oh, man. Even the instructions are like the original. I remember looking at those part layouts on the old kits and they'd show everything painted like this. So this is really cool to see. Very cool to see. Touchgate. I'll have to give that a try. I can remember when that wasn't a thing. This is really cool. Just looking at the kind of historical aspect. Oh my goodness, so colorful. Somewhere somebody gave me one of the kits of the plastic tooling machines that Bandai has, and I always found it funny, and I'm sure it was 100% intentional, and in fact it has to be, that they are in traditional Gundam colors. And then I believe that a lot of the staff at the factory itself actually have very Federation inspired uniforms that they wear there. Man. Yes, I remember this. I'm just reading the haiku here. Putting too much glue on the shoulder part and then ended up having everything stuck together there. Been there, done that. Oh my god, look at those thighs. Look at those thighs. This is just like the whole thing is freaking nostalgia for me. Alright. Enough of that. Let's take a look at the actual parts. Such a simple looking yet important kit. I mean, I do appreciate the breakdown of all these parts on one sprue like this. I mean, honestly, I probably can build this without even having to look at the instructions. It's that ingrained in me. I mean, I've built enough mobile suits, but like I said, I know I've built enough Gundams in my day that this really isn't going to pose much of an issue. Huh, I thought it would have been a duplicated runner, but I guess not. You get your shield, thighs, all that fun stuff. Alright, well, I'm going to get this sucker put together, and I can't wait. Shouldn't take me very long, so if you want to find out how it turns out, you know the drill. Let's sit tight. Oh my goodness, gaze upon the beauty of this kit. Oh man, the nostalgia is in full effect here. Oh man, I'm gonna have to like bust out in karaoke here in a sec and start singing the old theme song. I gotta say, check this out. They even have the hole in the hand, just like the old kits. And I gotta say, it's kind of cool to see the color separations, but let me be the first to forewarn you that this is designed in terms of posability just like the original kit. You're not going to have any sort of lateral movement with the legs. It's going to just be a bit of a gallop, and that's it. And now it's absolutely flexible, sure. And it's really cool how the joints are all hidden, but you're not getting any kind of like real flex on the legs. The arms are a bit more free, but there is no waist joint, just like the original kit. It's all solid there. Of course, if you built any of the original kits, you would remember that you would have a core fighter in there as well. There is no core fighter in this. Just the face, even the little Vulcan sticking out. I will admit I didn't really use the instructions, but I did mess up figuring out which was the front, which was the back, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I was not paying attention, sadly. And what's funny is this really... Oops, let me get this zoomed in a little bit better here. That's not much of a zoom. There we go. It's just kind of fun seeing the proportions in comparison. So yeah, if you want a kit that can get all kinds of crazy, funky poses, you know... The entry grade here is definitely going to be one that I would consider if that's what you're after. If you were like me and spent a lot of time with the classic kits, I would absolutely recommend this wholeheartedly. And I don't think it was all that expensive either, so that's always a plus. Just be aware, it's going to be very limited in its capabilities. I should give it its beam saber. Forgot. The beam saber. I remember these kind of old school beam sabers, having to paint them all up myself. Looks like a policeman baton. Club you with this nightstick. Can't even remove the saber hilts from the backpack, just like it used to be. And of course you have a random unignited one. I don't know, it's kind of interesting because for a long time, I mean, pre-COVID, I can distinctly remember going to just about any hobby shop in Japan and seeing lots of older kits readily available, and I don't remember that really since COVID time. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places, but at least where my in-laws are, you know, out in Niigata, no, there's not much in the way of it, and I remember, you know, the kits themselves, even into the mid 2000s, 2015, 16, 18, still finding like 80 and 83 kits readily available. I don't know if they were reissues or what, but you could find that stuff and the prices weren't exorbitant. I mean, it was kind of nice. I very vividly remember picking up all sorts of like mid 90s SD Gundam reissue kits in like 2015, 2020 even. Maybe not like right before the pandemic, but for like 300 yen, and that was pretty regular. So I can recall seeing these on a lot of shelves. I know the Joshin, that was probably the largest supplier of model kits in the area, had one wall of nothing but master grades and high grades, and then a shelf section of all the classic kits. And I remember that they had quite a few of the 79 reissues and seeing a lot of, the Gundam and Zaku and stuff. So to me, it's kind of nice to see those. There was always like that kind of comfort food, that, friendly face that you're familiar with seeing all the time. So it's just kind of fun. If you're looking for something with a little bit of a retro flair, if you enjoy that kind of thing, I really wholeheartedly am going to recommend this kit. It's just a fun, nostalgic return to a bit of a simpler time. Not to say, there's anything wrong with like modern, HGUC kits and all of their, multicolored, very dynamic parts compared to this. So it's just kind of fun. And honestly, that's one of the reasons that I've continued with this hobby all these decades later, is it's fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.